Away from beginning our meeting. I'm just waiting for my colleagues to join me. We have a presentation that we're going to get going as soon as the mayor comes back downstairs.
Good morning. All right, everybody drank their cafecito cubano this morning, I can see. Today is a very special day. Well, it's always a special day here in the city, but it's always important when you're focusing on the preservation of history in your city. We have a beautiful history. We were incorporated in 1896, and my family is a very small part of that history, which was that my father was the first Cuban mayor of Miami in 1985, and we're the first father and son mayor. And as far as we can tell, I'm the first mayor of Miami born in Miami. I was actually born in the city, which is, I think, an interesting fact, because I think it says something about our community that has been a community that's embraced people from the outside. We have a good 70% of our residents were not born in the city. Many of them come from other places. And I think it says something about us that we are such an embracing community. But today we get to celebrate National Historic Preservation Month in the city. And it's important for us to preserve our assets that have historical significance, because the value of those assets is incalculable. You can't put a price on it. It's infinite value, in my opinion. Just like our parks are infinite value, because you get to use them for theoretically infinity, right? And hopefully for infinity. And so it gives me a lot of pleasure and privilege to be able to declare today National Historic Preservation Month Day in the city of Miami. Does anybody want to come up and receive this? All of you can come up if you want. Thank you. Come on up, come around, yeah. I know that you can't come up, but I'll come down to you and give you a kiss.
So much of our work has gone unnoticed, and so many things have been lost. And we truly do have to stop. We're going to mention that today. That is an absolute treasure and needs to be preserved.
How are you? Good to see you.
We want to plan it.
At this time, we are going to begin our meeting with prayer. Today, Minister Cheryl Coleman from Friendship Missionary Baptist Church will lead us in prayer.
We greet you all with the love of God, and in my faith tradition, the joy of Jesus and the empowerment of the Holy Spirit. As we have this opportunity, thank you, Chairwoman King, and all of our commissioners here, our mayor, and to each and every one of you for this opportunity to share a prayer. As I share this prayer, in my faith tradition, the Bible tells us to pray for our leaders so that they would lead and rule well, that there would be peace in the land. And so we come in that spirit on this morning. In my faith tradition, dear God, I come to you in Jesus' name, first giving you the honor, the glory, and the praise for the gift of life and time. Father, as you've blessed us with this day, everything that we need, we know that you will provide it. And so we come with humble adoration, lifting up our leaders. We thank you right now, God, that you would give them the wisdom. Lord God, give them the fortitude and the guidance. We not only lift up our leaders, but we lift up the residents. We ask you, Father, to be with us in a spirit of unity right now. We thank you, God, that as we bring our cares and concerns, that you would address them right now. And as you address them right now, given a great leadership and people coming together, I thank you, Father, that everything that we need to have abundant life, it shall be so. Bless this meeting, lead and guide it, and we'll be careful not to take any glory for us, but to give it unto you, and the blessings would rest upon us all. And I seal the prayer in Jesus' name with a great hallelujah and amen.
Amen. Commissioner Gabella, will you join us, lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, Mr. City Attorney, would you please read your statement for the record?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Detailed information about the processes, order of business, rules of procedure, and scheduling or rescheduling of City Commission meetings can be found in Chapter 2, Article 2 of the City Code, a copy of which is available online at www.munico.com. Any person who is a lobbyist pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code must register with the City Clerk and comply with related city requirements for lobbyists before appearing before the City Commission. A person may not lobby a city official, board member, or staff member until registering. A copy of the code section about lobbyists is available in the City Clerk's office or online at www.munico.com. Any person making a presentation, formal request, or petition to the City Commission concerning real property must make the disclosures required by the City Code in writing. A copy of this City Code section is available at the office of the City Clerk or online at www.munico.com. The City of Miami requires that anyone requesting action by the City Commission must disclose before the hearing any consideration provided or committed to anyone for agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested action pursuant to City Code Section 2-8. Any documents offered to the City Commission that have not been provided 7 days before the meeting as part of the agenda materials will be entered into the record at the City Commission's discretion. In accordance with Section 2-33F and G of the City Code, the agenda and the materials for each item on the agenda is available during business hours at the City Clerk's office and online 24 hours a day at www.miamigov.com. Any person may be heard by the City Commission through the Chair for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the City Commission unless modified by the Chair. Public comment will begin at approximately 9:30 a.m. and remain open until public comment is closed by the Chairperson. Members of the public wishing to address the body may do so by submitting written comments via the online comment form. For detailed via the online comment form, please visit www.miamigov.com/meeting instructions for detailed instructions on how to provide public comment using the online public comment form. The comments submitted through the comment form have been and will be distributed to the elected officials, their staff, and city administration throughout the day so that the elected officials may consider the comments prior to taking any action. Additionally, the online comment form will remain open during the meeting to accept comments and distribute to the elected officials, their staff, and the city administration up until the chairperson closes public comment. Public comment may also be provided here live at City Hall located at 3500 Pan American Drive, Miami, Florida, subject to any and all city rules as they may be amended. If the proposition is being continued or rescheduled, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date before the City Commission takes action on such proposition. When addressing the City Commission, the members of the public must first state their name, their address, and what item will be spoken about. Any person with a disability requiring assistance, auxiliary aids, and services for this meeting may notify the City Clerk. The City has provided different public comment methods to indicate, among other things, the public support, opposition, or neutrality on the items and topics to be discussed at the City Commission meeting in compliance with Section 286.0114, parentheses 4, parentheses C, Florida statutes. The public has been given the opportunity to provide public comment during the meeting and within reasonable proximity and time before the meeting. Please note, commissioners have generally been briefed by city staff and the city's attorney's office on items on the agenda today. Anyone wishing a verbatim record of an item considered at this meeting may request it at the Office of Communications or view it online at www.miamigov.com. PZ items shall proceed according to Section 7.1.4 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. Parties for any PZ items, including any applicant, appellant, appellee, city staff, and any person recognized by the decision-making body as a qualified intervener, as well as the applicant's representatives and any experts testifying on behalf of the applicant, appellant, or appellee, may be physically present at City Hall to be sworn in by oath or affirmation by the city clerk. The members of the City Commission shall disclose any ex parte communications to remove the presumption of prejudice pursuant to Florida Statute 286.0115 and Section 7.1.4.5 of the Miami 21 zoning ordinance. The order of presentation shall be as set forth in Miami 21 and in the City Code. Staff will briefly present each item to be heard. The applicant will present its application or request to the City Commission. If the applicant agrees with the staff recommendation, the City Commission may proceed to its deliberation and decision. The applicant may also waive the right to an evidentiary hearing on the record. For appeals, the appellant will present its appeal to the City Commission, followed by the appellee. Staff will be allowed to make any recommendation they may have. Please silence all cell phones and other noise-making devices. This meeting may be viewed live on Miami TV, miamigov.com/TV, the city's Facebook page, the city's Twitter page, the city's YouTube channel, and Comcast Channel 77. The broadcast will also have closed captioning. Pursuant to Advisory Legal Opinion 2020-03 issued on March 19, 2020, the Attorney General opined that consistent with prior Attorney General opinions, a member of the local government body who is physically unable to attend a meeting because of medical treatment or due to medical reasons could participate and vote in meetings where a quorum of the other members was physically present. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Mr. City Clerk, will you please read your statement in for the record?
Thank you, Chair. The procedures for individuals providing testimony to be sworn in for planning and zoning items and any quasi-judicial items on today's City Commission agenda will be as follows. Members of City staff or any other individuals required to be sworn in who are currently present at City Hall will be sworn in by me, the City Clerk, immediately after I finish explaining these procedures. Those individuals who are appearing remotely may be sworn in now or at any time prior to the individual providing testimony for planning and zoning items and or quasi-judicial items. Commissioners, are you comfortable with all notice provisions set forth in these uniform rules and procedures we have established for this meeting?
Yes,
And Chair, may I administer the oath for the planning and zoning items?
please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you'll be speaking on any of today's planning and zoning items, that's PZ 1 and 2, may I please have you stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give at today's hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And your response is? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, at this time, do you have any items that are scheduled to be deferred or withdrawn from this agenda?
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Mr. City Attorney, and Mr. City Clerk. At this time, the administration would like to defer and withdraw the following items. CA2 to be deferred to May 23rd. FR3 to be deferred to May 23rd. And PZ1 to be deferred to May 23rd. That concludes the items.
FI3?
Yes, sir. FR3 and PZ1 were the last two.
Which was the first one that you mentioned?
CA2.
CA2.
PC1. Which one is PC1?
Mr. Vice Chair, do you have any items that you would like to withdraw or defer?
No, I want to ask the Commissioner Pardo. He asked everything that related to his district. That I know that you received a request from him.
Yeah, he made a request, which is why PZ1 was placed on the deferral list, as well as I know you had referenced it as well.
Okay. I just want to make sure. In deference to a commissioner, not for anything else.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any other items that I'm aware of that
Okay. No, I don't think so. Just in case.
have an impact, unless.
Commissioner Cabela, do you have any items?
No, I don't.
Surprised that outdoor gym equipment is more important to be here than two of the most important items that would affect all districts in the city in one form or another. RE12 and FR4. I'd like both of them to be deferred to the 23rd. RE12 and FR4. In RE 12, Mr. Manager and Mr. City Attorney, I was extremely surprised when I received a call from my local tabloid. And
Commissioner, can you? Yeah,
I said I was extremely surprised when I received a call from the reporter that covers City Hall for our local tabloid, and they had information that I didn't. They knew to the smallest detail percentage of voters in each district, by race, by ethnicity, by political parties. I want to, if I'm going to be asked to vote on something, I want to be able to know what the breakdown is so that everyone knows it. And at the same time, I would like to compare it to the other two maps that we had. And why do I want that? Because on March 22nd of 2022, we voted upon the original map. Then, when the judge in the federal court said that that wasn't sufficient, we voted again, I believe it was sometime in June 2023, for a new additional map. And now we're looking at this one. So I want to be able to look from March 22nd, then in June 23 to now, how the maps in all the different percentages have changed. So we can see what we're really voting upon and what we have.
Madam Chair, through the chair. I didn't know that.
Hold on 1 second. Can I have a motion to approve the items that the manager requested to defer?
Oh, move it.
I have a motion and a second.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Just the ones that the
Second.
manager.
Yeah.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda has been set, and we are now discussing
Okay.
the two items that Vice Chair would like to have deferred.
I just want to
Commissioner
ask
Reyes.
this question. I did not know that that breakdown was available. I did not know. I'm very much interested in see it because I have suspicions also that this map, the way it is, and it is has been, and it's been my main concern that we pretty soon, in a couple of election cycles, we won't have proper representation or diversity in the dais. That's my main concern. The districts were formed, and Commissioner Canoyo, when he was mayor, were formed in order to assure us that every ethnic group will be represented in this dais. And the form, my only concern with what we are doing now and what we're voting on, and I have stated it publicly, is that we won't have diversity in the dais, and all the ethnic groups will not be represented. And if that analysis has been performed, I want to see it. Because that's my only concern. I mean,
Madam Chair.
I will represent any area of the city of Miami with the same way that I represent mine, and I'd be honored to represent any area of the city of Miami. But I want to know what implications this will have in the composition of the city commission. That's my only concern.
Commissioner Gabello would like to be recognized.
Yeah, so for the record, I wasn't here when you, ladies and gentlemen, voted on that last year, whenever the last time you voted on. And then, I'm in agreement with Carollo to defer because, number one, there's one member that's not here, so I'm in agreement with that. However, I hope that the next commission meeting, okay, we can make a decision on this because we've been at this for some time, and the longer we continue with this, the more it's going to cost us, the city, the taxpayer, and I think we've been at this for, a very long time now, and we've had extensive meetings on this in the past, for the last 2 months with what have we had, like 3 shape meetings I think we've had, but I understand your concern, and I'm willing to go along. I just hope that the next commission meeting, this is settled, in the respect that I'd like to see, if we do this, whatever the agreement is, we have some control over the process. You know, if we don't do this at the end, we're going to lose that control, and it's going to be up to the judge and other judges, and you know, Judge Moore is not happy with us. I mean, this hasn't been settled in a year and a half. So I'm going to go along. I think it's the prudent thing to do, but I just want to be in the record. I hope that by the next meeting, we're ready to go one way or the other.
Madam Chair.
Hold on one second. The city attorney would like to say something.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. And my commitment to this commission is to provide you with the risks and consequences of this. I want to put out, you know, everything that could happen or could happen, and I would like our outside counsel to come up and address how requesting a deferral at this time could affect the case. And,
Madam Chair, before outside counsel speaks, could I finish speaking? Because I hadn't been finished speaking, and I gave Commissioner Reyes the floor.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Look, we have been accused, wrongly so, of racially gerrymandering 3 districts. Those are pretty grave words. When the original intent, when districts were made, because we had city-wide elections before, I ran a lot more citywide for commissioner, for mayor before, than the 2 times that I ran in a district. The reason we won 2 districts when I was mayor was to assure that there would be African American representation when it was lost. Period. Now, you have 3 districts that no matter how you cut them, they're districts that are 80 plus, 90% Hispanic. I don't care how you cut those districts. You're still going to have a Hispanic elected. Now, the reason I want to see the 3 sequences on the maps, so that we could clearly see and show there was no racial gerrymandering, that in fact, we're ending with the same percentages, maybe even more in some districts, than what this commission had approved. So are we going to be approving a racially gerrymandering map? What this is all about is to take the power away from the residents of Miami and the representatives that have been elected by the residents of Miami, so that this commission cannot make a decision, and that what we are given are an ideological driven precinct by precinct map that is gerrymandered towards getting individuals that are much more to the far left than to the center or to the right. I was told that in District 3, and you know, this is what the reporter told me, I have no idea, that the Democrat percentage in District 3 jumps to 55%. You only have 45% Republican. I don't know exactly what the Hispanic percentage is in comparing it to the other 2 times. So this is information that we need. Now, that Judge Moore, and I say this with all respect, as was stated here by one of my colleagues, is not happy with us. He wasn't happy with us last year. And apparently the appellate court wasn't happy with him. They overturned him, and we had elections in the map that we picked. They brought it to the Supreme Court, and I'm amazed that in something that didn't jump to the level of many other cases, the Supreme Court took on the case. And guess what? Supreme Court apparently wasn't too happy with Judge Moore's decision either. It came back 9-0 in favor of the city of Miami's position. So I'm not one of those that's going to drink the Kool-Aid and believe that this is final, whatever Judge Moore says, because I believe that we stand an excellent chance of overturning this in an appeal. An excellent chance. And, frankly, I might be the one that, because I'm the turkey in this shootout, I'm the one that maybe stands the most danger in any decisions that are made. So be it, I'm term limited out, so I can't run again. What I'm looking is for the future of this city, and I've always stated that. I am term limited out. Jerez is term limited out after this term. And for us to wait until the 23rd to get answers, and most importantly, have a full commission, because I don't think there's anything more important, certainly not outdoor gym equipment, for a commission to be present to vote on, than districts of the city.
Can we hear from outside counsel?
Excuse me, may I, through the chair? Look, I want to put on the record, the only gerrymandering here that really occurred, and let's be honest about this, okay, was your house being accommodated and Coconut Grove being broken in half, and then my house being taken out to protect Alex Diaz de la Portilla, that then we were running against each other. That's what the real gerrymandering here was about, or one of them. Now, I, for one, don't want to put, this is my opinion, we've discussed this backwards and forwards, and with this map that we're talking about, it's a very minimal change. The other map, I even agreed with you, was drastic, radical, but this map here is very little taken here from there. I, for one, do not want to put the city liable for more money for the taxpayer. I'm on the record here as trying to save the taxpayer $25 million, okay? I think we have enough litigation in the city to continue this way. What makes us think that things are going to change now when it hasn't changed in a year and a half with this judge? And by the way, you're correct. We did win the stay with the appellate court, but that was because, remember, there was an election. And I think they ruled on that election. And by the way, one more thing. As we speak, as we sit here today, okay, your house is out of the district, technically speaking, because the judge voted and annulled the 24 map, the 23 map, and the 22 map. We're now, right now, on the 2012 map, if I understand it correctly. And so I just want to put that on the record. I don't want to pick a fight with anybody today, but I think this thing, if we still have time, in the next commission meeting should be put to bed, and get this thing over and done with. Again, I state on the record, I do not want to cost the city more money. I asked Mr. Wysong yesterday, I called him in my office, and I asked him, if we go the route and we don't have the votes to do this, how much might this potentially cost us in time? And I believe it was $1 million and maybe in excess of that, if I remember correctly, City Attorney. Can you enlighten me on that, whether I am correct?
That was one of the things I wanted to mention, is that part of this is a settlement of attorney's fees, and the ACLU had come down from the fees that they have on record. I don't know.
If we could allow outside counsel to brief us, please. And just so I say for the record, all of the statistics that you guys say you didn't get, I received. I asked those questions. I thought that in our last meeting, we had come to an agreement,
Yes.
and this is a procedural item that captures what we had all agreed to in the shade meeting. I believe there are some time sensitivities to this settlement, so let's hear from, and with Commissioner Pardo not being here, if he had taken issue with it, it would have been one of the items that he had requested to have deferred, but he didn't. please brief us on the consequences of us not moving forward today and delaying this vote to the 23rd.
That's fine, but when he's done, I'd like to address something that was said here.
Okay, but and I have the feeling that it is the feeling of my colleagues that we defer this. I'd just like you to put on the record what the consequences are. I am ready to move forward with it, though, but go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Christopher Johnson with Gray Robinson. I'm here to answer this question. So we have to give the court a briefing by next week as to the status of the settlement discussions. At the current time, the court has stayed the case. So after we give the court the briefing, the court may choose to no longer stay it and expect things to move forward. Among the other consequences, of course, is the city's time to file an appeal of the findings of fact and conclusions of law. 30 days is tomorrow, so we'd have to file the appeal by tomorrow and get that going as well. Going back to the court may continue the stay until after the meeting on the 23rd. The court may choose not to continue to stay and push things forward. The remedial process would involve coming back to this commission and redistricting the maps again, similar to what was done last year after the injunction. So that would begin that process of meetings, drawing new maps, possibly using the consultant or not, coming back to the commission to approval of that map. If there are objections by the plaintiffs, then those objections would have to be heard by the court. The court may then choose to accept the city's new map or reject the city's new map or draw his own map. At the trial, Judge Moore indicated he might be interested in drawing his own map. Another thing that would be on the table is the consideration of whether or not a special election would be called. Currently, under the settlement, no special elections or no one would be forced to run prior to the end of their term, but of course, the judge could change that. That's one of the things that the plaintiffs had discussed and one of the things that is resolved by the settlement. So the consequence is we have to file the appeal by tomorrow. We would have to give the court a briefing next week and inform the court that it's going to come back before this commission on the 23rd and then ask the court to either continue to defer so we can wrap this up then, or we may continue litigating the case. Obviously, that would also change the attorney's fee consideration, not only the city spending fees on litigating the case, but also the plaintiff's fees would go up.
Madam Chair, if I may.
I think Mr. Vice Chair wants to speak, and he has the floor. Todd, could you put us on a 5-minute timer, because I don't want us to spend an entire morning. I have the feeling, I understand how you feel, but let's keep this to 5 minutes each moving forward, because we've all had an opportunity to speak thus far. Okay, Todd.
Yeah, briefly to address the attorney, neither Chairman King, Commissioner Reyes, or Commissioner Carollo voted on the last maps to gerrymander any homes in or outside of the district. So I just want to put that on the record. Now, what I am saying is we need a full commission, because this is probably the most important vote that will be taken in a long, long time. And we need a full commission on this. The plaintiffs, they want to get their $1.5 million from us. And that was one of the main priorities that they had. The judge wants us to resolve it in one particular way. But the bottom line is, while you, Counselor, cannot tell us ever, in any case, no matter how strongly it is, how we could end up, if we would go that route, and I'm not saying that this is what is going to happen, what I'm asking is a plain deferral for the 23rd, and to get information, and to have a full commission. What we could do, if another form of action was to be taken on the 23rd, we could ask for an injunction, a stay rather, from the appellate court, like we did the last time, and we got a stay the last time. And winning means that they don't get $1.5 million. Correct?
Correct, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Well,
Madam
with a
Chair.
caveat to that, there'd be obviously fee disputes regarding the earlier injunction. I mean, when you ask a lawyer, it's possible to get a complete yes or no. So that may not completely resolve the issue.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Reyes.
Yes, sir. I believe that, in my opinion, in my case, if I vote for this map, it would be under duress. It's on we've been threatened by the judge that he was going to draw it himself. And we don't know what's going to happen there. As I stated before, I am concerned about the future of the city of Miami. If we have now, we have been demanding because group of people believe that wrongly so, because as Commissioner Carrillo said, anyway you cut this 30 districts, it's going to be always it's going to be a Hispanic there. The amount of money that we had spent is going to be nothing compared for the demands that we are going to receive if we don't have diversity in the dais. Besides being not fair, besides being not fair and not being, it betrays the principles of the district. I know that once, as it happened before, that there were 5 Hispanic commissioners, and that's why the districts came about. That is my concern. And the money, having diversity in the city, in the city council, it is, in my opinion, priceless. You see, it is priceless. I would pay for it, whatever it takes, because our city should be equally represented. And that's my big concern about this. It is my big concern about this. And I'm concerned about the future of the city of Miami. That's why I want to know everything that happened. So, that is me. That is my opinion. If I vote on this, because we have to vote, I want everybody to know that is under duress. Because my concern is real. Real. I am not here. I am not a City of Miami commissioner because I want fame or fortune. And I'm not going to vote according to what happens now. I see into the future. And that's what concerns me. You see, I'm turned out. I cannot run anymore. But how about the next generations? See, that is one. And the map that it was prepared by us. And, but the best question that I asked, the first question that I asked the Grande was, are we assured that we're going to have diversity in future elections for the next 10 years? And he said, yes. That's why I voted for it. And that is my position.
Commissioner Cabela.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Number one, I think I heard you say that you've been fully, you know everything, as I do. I was fully informed of all statistics. We had 3 meetings on this. You seem to be comfortable with the map. I'm comfortable with the map. I support your decision in going forward. Yes, we're one member down. Can I ask you, sir, on the opposite end of the coin, if these gentlemen, if we win, we don't pay them the $1.5 million, correct? What do we lose? How much is that going to cost us if we lose?
Well, once again, you're paying the fees for the litigation, and you're also, their fees will continue to go up.
So if we lose, what can that be?
But Madam Chair, could I clarify something real quick? If we were to win, we're still subject to paying attorney's fees because they did get.
They did obtain an injunction that would be an issue that would no doubt be litigated.
Right.
I just
But
don't want to
it-
give the impression that it's completely off the table.
But it certainly would be more money than with the 1.5 that now I just learned that we're going to pay anyway, correct? You would suppose.
So, yes, so if we were to continue to go forward, more litigation, fees go up, obviously the plaintiff's fee claim will go up as well. In the last year and a half litigation, you see they were asking for 1 point, they actually were asking for 2, and then we settled. So obviously it could be,
Can I just ask you one more question?
yes.
And then I'll end it there. If we defer today to accommodate Mr. Pardo, will this change in any way the settlement that I was under the impression that we had agreed to, the previous sessions that we had in the same meeting? Will this endanger that settlement that we had a majority I think we expressed to you to go forward and present the settlement to them?
Bill, if we defer it, we could obviously continue to go forward with the settlement, even if the judge were to say, I'm no longer staying the case, continue the other process. We can still do the settlement discussions and still yes. So we can still do that.
So at this time, at this time, do I have a motion to defer RE 12?
It's a motion.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
And that'll be to the May 23rd City Commission.
23rd meeting.
May 23rd City Commission meeting.
It's only 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks.
Thank you, Commission.
There was an additional request to defer which one?
FR4.
FR4. Do I
For a
have?
full commission, motion.
I have a motion to defer FR4 until the May 23rd agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay.
At this time, we are going to open the floor for public comments. Anyone who wishes to speak on any items that are on this agenda, please come forward.
Chair, I will be bringing a resolution after we move the agenda forward and finishing touch-ups to it as a pocket item.
It's not ready as yet.
I'm going over, make sure that it's
Okay. Public comment? Anyone for public comment? Good morning.
Good morning. Brenda Berancor, 1436 Southwest 6th Street. Just in reference of SR4 for the vendors in different areas. I still hear complaints about the little vendors in Little Havana.
That one has been deferred.
SR4?
SR4 is deferred. It's
FR4.
not SR4.
FR4 is deferred, yes.
Deferred, yeah.
Okay, I had the wrong one.
Deferred.
I'm sorry.
523. I'm sorry.
No.
I struck out SR4. Go ahead.
Just trying to see if it's possible for you commissioners to think about those small vendors. There are over 45 families. They're still pending to actually get the approval to keep selling their products, the fruits, the hot dogs in certain areas, especially in Little Havana. I know that Commissioner Carollo received a complaint from one specific store owner, but I plead to you to think about those small vendors that depend in those sales in the street. They have the health department inspections permits. They have the city of Miami inspection and have the permits. They paid the dues, they pay the fees, the licenses. And I think it's only fair if we keep those vendors that have been there for 20 years in our streets with the real permits. They get inspected. I'm still receive phone calls. I still receive those comments every time I see them. I miss those mangoes that I used to buy in 12 and 6 myself. And I believe that we have to give those who has a licensing, who actually go through the process, and they're legal to keep selling the products because there are 45 families that depend on it. I just see if you guys can think about something that we can actually support those people that actually were legal doing it in the city of Miami. If for one complaint of one person, all these 45 families now doesn't have a place for them to do. Please think about it and I just hope that you guys can do the right thing for those families. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I thank you guys for serving, for what you're doing for the community. My name is Chaplain Stanley Young. I live at 500 Northwest 2nd Avenue in the Overtown area. I'm here to endorse two programs that you guys are funding, that you're doing an excellent job. I'm not here to curse the darkness. I'm here to shine a light. I have seen the Liberty City Trust up close. I have seen the teachers, met the teachers, seen the students doing an excellent job over there, that program. I would be saying it not unless I actually seen it for myself. I met a lot of the board members, and they're doing an excellent job, and they need your support to continue doing the good work in the community that they are doing. And also, just past Tuesday, I had the esteemed pleasure to going out with your heat team that goes out and engage the homeless and engage those that are living on the streets. I met one of the officers and did a ride around the different areas of your city where they are homeless living on the street. And I was so impressed how the solid waste, the heat team, and your human service department all collaborated together to help those people who are living on the street. You know, that is my passion, to help those ones who are living on the street who don't have a voice of their own to come down here to talk about it. But they did an excellent job. Your heat team is doing an excellent job. I was so impressed. They got at least 30 to 40 people inside the shelters for, a day or 7 days. And I just wanted to come and tell you that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I believe the city attorney has a pocket item to read for the record so it can be considered during public comment.
This would be yours, Madam Chair, right? A resolution of the Miami City Commission waiving the 2 temporary event limitation per year for the private property located at 75 Northeast 39th Street, Miami, Florida, pursuant to Chapter 62, Article 13, Division 1, Section 62-521B4 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida, as amended, titled Planning and Zoning Approval for Temporary Uses and Occupancies, Permit Required, Temporary Event Permits, Temporary Events in General, to allow for Reserve Paddle Miami events to be held from May 23rd, 2024 through December 31st, 2024.
Motion.
I have a, we'll take it up on the, and the reason why that pocket item is being heard today is because we meet on the 23rd and the event starts
So,
then.
motion.
Well, we don't take it up yet. It's public comment. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so very much for being here today. My name is Elaine Black, Liberty City Trust, 4800 Northwest 12th Avenue, Miami, Florida. I'm here to support RE11, and that is the funding of the Youth Employment Program through District 5, as well as the mayor. It provides jobs for youth in the summertime. You have the full support of our board, as well as our residents of our community. So thank you for that support.
Thank you. And how many youth will be employed
We will
through
have
this program?
employed 120 youth this summer.
Fantastic. Good morning.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Benaya. I've never been to a city meeting, but they told me this is where you come if you want to have an issue and you want to address it. I'm in District 5. I live in Liberty City. I don't know if anybody else is in here is from Liberty City or lives there. And as you know, if you live there, there's a lot of things that's different from Liberty City that's not in other parts. And I'm just want to support this trust. And if it could be more, it would be better because, if it's cut off at $250,000, that's like...
Actually, 400,000.
Oh, I'm just reading what's on the paper.
It's 200, it's a 50 here, 150 there. It's a total of 400,000.
Oh, that's great. So will we be aware of who's delegating these funds?
the young lady that just spoke, the Liberty City Trust, Miss Elaine Black is the executive director of that program.
Okay.
And the folks with her are staff and board members of the program.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate that. And also, I would just like to agree with Manolo Reyes. He spoke on diversity is very important. In my heart, I don't want to offend anybody, but I kind of feel like they're pushing black people out of the representation of Miami. And as I see it on the beach, I see it in the way they do spring break for us. There's no problem with Ultra. They don't bring all the cops out doing Ultra Fest. But for some reason, the first college spring break
It's a different city. Miami Beach is a different city from the city of Miami. City of Miami holds Ultra. Miami Beach manages spring break.
That's very true. It's just the crowds are coming in regardless during those times. And it seems like South Beach is not just for spring break. South Beach, spring break is for everything in Miami, not just South Beach. So it just seems as though there's this effort.
I was pointing that out to you so that you could go over to the city of Miami Beach and speak at their commission meeting and let them know how you feel about the spring break issue.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that.
Okay.
But thank you for promoting diversity. We wouldn't be Miami without the black people that's here. So I would like us to be active and present. Even looking at the board, I'm like, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? I got you. I appreciate you. I voted. I saw King. That's how I even knew you even paid the vote.
Well, thank you for coming.
Okay.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your voice, because it's folks like you that come out and share your opinion and your concerns, and we listen to it. So thank you. Don't let this be your last time. Don't let this be your last time, and make sure you vote. And if you want to participate further, we have a bunch of boards, the city boards, that you can join a board. Let me know if you're interested in joining any of the city boards, and I'll appoint you to a board so you can continue to speak out. Absolutely, because we need young folks like you to come, share, and help make a difference.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One more thing. I'm sorry. I get out of here. It is concerning the maintenance of Liberty City. I just wonder, is there a specific reason they cut off the lights on our parks at night? That we like
all parks. The lights go off on all parks.
I can't say that. I done played basketball on parks that they had their lights on. Ours are off.
Have a seat, and I'll have the parks director come out and talk to you.
Thank
You know, he's got a good point, Chair, if I go through you, Mr. Manager.
And by the way, you guys, I let him speak for as long as I let him speak because it was his first time. That's all. Nah,
Chair.
you come all the time. Yes.
Chair, Mr. Manager,
Mr. Manager, can you have Director Evans come out and speak to that young man about the issue with the lights going off on the basketball courts?
He had a good question. If I may recommend, Mr. Manager, that we look into putting as many of new lights in our parks that are solar. This way, there's no cost to us. They stay on at night for security also. We don't spend money on electricity. That's what we have placed in Maurice Ferre Park, and we're putting more. And it's been a great success in having solar lights there.
Absolutely, Commissioner. We'll take it into consideration.
Did you call Director Evans? Okay, great. Okay. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Just fine. Good morning, City Commissioners and staff. My name is Kerry Johnson, 29 Northwest 52nd Street. I'm here for RE11, which is basically the funding that you give out for the Liberty City Trust. You do a great job in that. In the summertime, it keeps the youth from out robbing and stealing and doing things, and they appreciate the money that they get for that summer so they can buy like books and things like that, going back to school, and they're staying out of trouble. And I just wanted to thank the commission for approving that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Christy Tasker. I live at 150 Southeast 25th Road, and I also serve on the Code Enforcement Board, which all of you appointed me to, which I'm grateful, because I've had the opportunity to meet with and see a lot of the situations that are happening within the city as a whole, including a lot of what happens on our code enforcement boards, that we have codes that really need to be changed when it comes to our Airbnb. We have a lot of Airbnbs that are hurting our city as a whole. We have a lot of residents that are being fined for doing work with inside their own house, such as replacing tiles and basic things that, how would they ever know? We have a lot of residents that are also buying properties, and then code enforcement is going in thereafter, and they're having great fines, which are causing, a lot of issues as a whole. Last night we had a doctor that came before us that he and his wife both serve the community as healthcare professionals. They actually go into the homes. Their home had been pretty much, there was all kind of photos of inside their home that was made available to the public. So some of these issues could be stopped with, some limitations on when these properties are transferred, that we have some amount of limitations in our code that, they're either required to know prior. And I understand that some of this is state legislature, but we should also be able to make some changes within the code enforcement board itself, or you guys as legislators, so that we're not having to rule on basic things that harm people. But yet what I'm not seeing is developers. I don't see a lot of developers, and even when they do have developers, I'm also seeing lobbyists appear with those developers to reduce their fines. There are developers that are actively hurting our community. They're actively on private property of other buildings, but yet nothing's being done with those particular people. So I just want to bring that to your attention. I will be requesting meetings with all of your chief of staff.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes.
Madam Chair, let me tell you, I agree with everything you said. And I'm requesting that the city attorney to start drafting some legislation and how to deal with Airbnb, because they are a nuisance. And besides that, many people don't understand they represent, they are one of the culprits that they are property values and house values.
That is
correct.
correct.
Have gone up because if you buy a house and you use it as a Airbnb, what happens? You have a little motel there. You get a lot of money. It's much better than to use it in that fashion than to have it in the market for rent or for sale. I mean,
Correct.
I agree with you 100%. And another thing that I want to add, and I brought this up when last Tuesday, is when I was a member of the Code Enforcement Board, I brought about a legislation that any sales that takes place of any home or whatever property, that before the closing, that an inspection should be made, because many people in goodwill, they buy a house, and the house is full of things that have been done, the violations that they have, and the person, they don't know it, and after they sign the papers, they have bought themselves a problem.
Yes.
They have bought themselves a problem. And I would like to see, try to work on some legislation in that aspect. I know that some people won't like it, particularly the realtors, but it is to protect future buyers and the residents of the city.
Yes.
You see, I would like to see.
Yeah, and just
I agree with you.
so
Some
the
of
board
codes have to be
understands,
changed.
the majority of the condominiums downtown and in Brickell, the majority of the managers state that their problems internally even come from Airbnb properties. They're costing us fire, they're costing us police, they're actually making drugs within the Airbnbs themselves. But what's really interesting is I'm very rarely seeing any of that come before the code enforcement or the nuisance board. But yet, and then I'm not seeing very much on the developer side, but the only time that it's really brought forth is when a resident consistently calls, and it is a job to consistently call and have to combat in your neighborhood. There's one woman, the neighborhood is like a $5 million and up neighborhood where...
We'll meet with you.
Okay,
As you stated,
perfect.
you'd like to meet with
Okay.
us, and at the Airbnb is regulated by the state of Florida, because
Correct.
I would like to change some of the regulations for Airbnb, particularly for short-term rentals, to be only homestead properties, but we don't have the jurisdiction because it's
Correct.
regulated through
But
the
what I
state.
would-
But we need to move on with our agenda. So we'll speak
Chairwoman,
to
if
you.
I could just make one request, that you guys have the city attorney get with the code enforcement board to potentially help draft some legislation that we could all sign off
Well,
on?
they actually do. A city attorney does staff the code enforcement board, so
Correct.
the board itself could make that recommendation for the city attorney to
Okay.
start drafting legislation.
That's the reason. Okay.
Yes.
So we made that recommendation to her last night. So I just wanted you guys to know.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else for public comment, the public comment period is now closed. I wish. Okay, but I think we can go pretty quickly through our agenda today. May I have a motion to approve the City of Miami Commission meetings for March 14th, 2024?
Move it. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. With respect to the consent agenda, are there any items that my colleagues would like to pull for discussion? No?
Move.
So
Second.
may I have a motion for
Move.
CA 1,
Second.
3, 4, and 5? I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. May I have a motion for PH 1?
Move.
I have a motion. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, which brings us to our resolutions, which are mitigations, RE1.
Madam Chair, if you will.
Mr. Spring, you are recognized.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair and Commission. RE11, we need to make a modification on the record. That modification is simply to remove one project off the project list, which is the Bayfront Fountain project. That will be removed.
RE11?
RE9, sorry, RE9.
RE9 is what now?
That is the bonding item, the authorization for the bonding item.
What about it?
Okay.
We're
Can we, when we
Yeah.
get to that item,
I just wanted-
because it's not what we're discussing right now. So let's finish with our mitigations, and when we get to RE9, I'll have him come back up and make the statement. RE1, mitigation. 284 Northwest 45th Street.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert
morning.
Santos Alborna, Co-Compliance Director, Madam Chairwoman, Vice Chair. RE1 is the mitigation of a property located at 284 Northwest 45th Street. The respondent is Benazor LLC. The violations are for construction work without permits, parking and storage of inoperable vehicles, failure to maintain exterior property, and failure to maintain lot in clean, safe condition. NOV was issued on March 4, 2021, adjudicated on April 13, 2021. Compliance was met on March 1st, 2022. It ran for 321 days, accruing a total of $80,250. The offer from respondent is $12,037.50, which is 15%. And counsel Nicholas and I spoke yesterday about multiple cases, so I'm sure he'll have something to add.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. Nicholas Rodriguez from the law firm Burkow, Riddell, Fernandez, Larkin, and Tapanez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, here on behalf of Benazor LLC. This property owner purchased the property in 2020. It was a very rough-shaped duplex. They made a very poor decision in hiring a contractor who did not pull permits and basically left the site a complete mess, left them holding the bag. Since then, once they became aware of the issues, they obtained a permit on March 25th, 2021, before the item had even gone to the Code Enforcement Board, and completed compliance with the violation in less than a year from the date the violation was actually issued. So we are respectfully requesting that the 15% offer be accepted by the Commission. And we note that the silver lining in this situation is that there is a basically brand new duplex in this neighborhood that has been constructed completely with permits legally in accordance with the requirements of the city. And for what it's worth, this owner has other projects in the city that are participating in the attainable and mixed income programs that the city offers. So this is an affordable housing developer. This home will be rented affordably in the next few months when they finish construction. And we're just asking to be done with this violation that has caused them a lot of heartache.
Motion.
Not yet. Do you have anything because in my notes, I have the word egregious. here.
So-
So during my briefing,
Right.
you must have said something
So
was
we-
egregious here.
So the violations that they were identified and issued, there were multiple. Now, the flip side of that coin is when we discuss the other cases, right, we're going to talk about gravity of violation, which is here. But there's a limited history on these cases. We had 3 code cases in the past 15 years, 4 solid waste cases, and 2 building cases. When we look at the scope of all the violations, they didn't have a high number of recurring violations. These we went by the process, and in the respondent's defense, they did correct the violations within a year. So
What is 15% of this 80,000?
12,000 of the 15% of 80,000 to 50 is 12,037 with 50 cents. And I believe that's what they're offering.
Correct, and through the chair, right, we would point to, we agree that the violation was egregious. I've seen the photos. It was a terrible sight. They immediately jumped on cleaning it up. They had applied for a permit or getting their permits pulled before the item actually even went to Code Enforcement Board, and they had a compliance date.
So I'm going to ask for 15,000, a clean 15,000. Do I have a motion?
Move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
As amended.
As amended.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
RE2.
RE2 is a mitigation of a property located at 1080 Northeast 80th Street. The respondent is 80 Streets Apartment LLC. There are 2 separate cases run in parallel. The first case, CE 2018-02-5352, is for construction work without permits. The second case, CE 2018-02-5562, is for operating without a valid CU BTR. The violations were open on December 11th and December 14th, 2018, adjudicated on April 4th and May 6th of 2021. The violations ran for one property 449 days, for the second one 488 days, accruing a total of $112,250 and $122,000 respectively. Collectively, they come to $234,250. The respondent has offered $15,000 for each of the violations, which is $30,000, which comes to 12.8%.
Go ahead.
Is this the same owner?
No, sir.
No.
This is 80 Street Apartments LLC. They just happen to be represented by same counsel.
No, it's an LC also.
Yeah.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
Good morning again. Nicholas Rodriguez on behalf of the owner, 80th Street Apartments LLC, Burkow, Riddell, Fernandez, Larkin, and Tapanez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, for the record. This owner, they purchased the property with a partner. They did put in the windows without a permit upon being cited. They did obtained a permit to legalize those windows and then realized there was additional scope required. They did a full gut renovation of the property, and that's why the violation ran for so long, because they were doing the work to completely renovate the property. It's now a beautiful 4-unit apartment building that's rented at rates that are quite affordable for the neighborhood. And we agree with the compliance dates that Director Santos Alborna has put forth, and our offer is $30,000. We also want to point out that there was a third violation issued during the same time. It went to Code Enforcement Board for mitigation, and they will be paying $45,000 on that violation. So in total, they're going to be paying $75,000 to the city. They are working on other projects in the neighborhood, completely with permits, completely legal, including the building right next door at 1070 Northeast 80th Street. They'd like to continue rehabilitating these buildings in the neighborhood, but they'd like to take care of this violation and move it first.
So here's my problem. When they buy these properties, you have notice, and we can't just go and improve properties without getting a permit. We can't set that precedence at all. For the two, I'm asking for 15% combined. Combined. So we'd have to figure out what that is.
15% comes out to $35,137 with 50 cents. collectively, and we can divide that by 2, and I'll do that right now.
We accept that.
They'll
That's
provide
fine.
that.
So he'll accept that. As amended, 15% for RE2. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
That was 2 and 3, right? Are you 2 and 3?
No, that was just 2.
That was just 2?
It was 2.
Yeah,
two
we have a few to go.
violations in 2. RE3.
RE3, Commissioners, RE3 is the mitigation of a property located at 5582 Northeast 4th Court. Respondent is Marks Classics Corporation. The violation is for operating without a CU BTR and for construction work without permits. The notice of violation was issued on February 10th, 2021. The adjudication took place on July 14th, 2021. It complied. I have a total of 444 days for compliance and collectively accruing a total of $111,000. I believe respondent is offering $15,000.
And that is how much percent?
And that comes out to 13.5%. If we wanted to go to 15%, the amount would be $16,650.
For the record?
For the record, again, Nicholas Rodriguez, Bercal, Riddell, Fernandez, Larkin, and Tapanez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, here on behalf of the owner, Mark's Classic. This is the longtime owner of the 55th Street station, Mark Soika, who brought these retail establishments to the neighborhood in the late 90s, early 2000s, when it wasn't exactly a place where there was a lot of new business and investment coming in. The reason that we're offering slightly below 15% here is because, just to cut straight to the point, the permit was obtained and closed in April of 2022, and the CU was not issued until January 30th, 2023. They immediately applied for their CU, and it took 9 months of, errors that were erroneously rejected.
Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The CU.
I'm going to accept your offer.
Okay,
Do I
thank
have
you,
a
ma'am.
motion?
Motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Thank you.
It should never take 9 months to issue.
And that operator is a very good operator. She followed up with us trying to reach out. So I'm putting that on the record. We talked about
Thank you, Director.
that operator.
RE4?
And that'll be RE3 as amended. And Mr. Code Enforcement Director, you're okay with the dollar amount. You know what the dollar amount is?
I'm sorry?
You know what the dollar amount is that's amended for RE3?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. As amended, it's $16,650.
For RE4, RE3?
RE4.
No,
Wait,
wait a
wait.
minute.
Oh,
But
RE3.
RE3, it should be
Through the chair.
15,000.
Correct. It was not amended. 15.
Oh, it was not amended.
It's not amended.
My
I'm
apologies.
accepting the whole-
RE3 has to be amended because there's a blank in the legislation.
Oh,
What I'm
I
trying
see.
to get confirmation on is the dollar amount.
15,000.
15,000. 15,000 as amended.
Thank you.
RE4.
Madam Chairwoman, Robert Santos, Salvador, Co-Compliance Director. RE4 is the mitigation of 9 properties. I'm going to read them into the record because there's a unity of title. I think council will appreciate that. This is for property addresses at 704 Southwest 7th Avenue, 712 Southwest 7th Street, 716 Southwest 7th Street, 720 Southwest 7th Avenue, 720 Southwest 7th Street, 734 Southwest 7th Avenue, 701 Southwest 8th Street, 705 Southwest 8th Street, and 721 Southwest 8th Street. The 9 properties, code has issued 5 violations. The violations are for operating without a CU and BTR, and there's one of them where in addition, well, 2 of them, then in addition, we had the storage of vehicles. The violations have multiple dates. I'm going to put into the record the 712 Southwest 7th Street, case CE 2019-019235 for certificates of use, business access sheet, and vehicles stored without the proper permits. NOV issued on October 3rd, 2019, adjudicated on October 20th, 2020. Compliance was met on October 18th, 2022, running for 727 days. Second case, 720 Southwest 7th Avenue, case CE 2019-009611, also for operating without CU BTR. NOV issued on May 15, 2019, adjudicated October 3rd, 2019. I have an earlier compliance date confirmed by way of building permits of 9/30/2020. That violation ran for 366 days for $91,512. Third case, 734 Southwest 7th Avenue, CE 2019-009619, for operating without certificate of use and BTR. NOV issued on May 15, 2019, adjudicated October 3rd, 2019. That one also ran for 366 days. Compliance was met on 9/30/2020. And the last case I have is 701 Southwest 8th Street, NOV for operating CU without a certificate of use, business tax receipt, or not temporary use permit. NOV issued October 3rd, 2019, adjudicated October 20th, 2020. Compliance on October 18th, 2022. It ran for 727 days. Collectively, the fines add to $546,525. I've spoken with counsel. I'm going to yield to him in a few seconds. There are a number of factors that he wants to put on the table. Contribution to the marketplace, and the economic impact to the area.
What is the amount again?
Collectively, the total amount is $546,525.
546?
Yes, sir. 525.
5. Okay.
Originally, I had an 874, but
Oh,
there's
I have
support
that.
evidence. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have
There's support evidence.
874,025.
Yes. And so with the support evidence that I met with counsel and discussed of the prior permits, that's how I made the adjustment.
When was that done?
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I'm deferring to Vice Chair. This is in his district, District 3.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, sir.
I apologize. When was that done? Did you meet with them on that?
I'm sorry, sir?
When did you meet with
Yesterday.
them on
Yesterday, in preparation for all the cases, he reached out to me and said, we have support evidence that there's an earlier compliance date, and that was confirmed through iBuild.
Okay. Very good. Go ahead.
So collectively, the amount is $546,525. Again, I met with counsel. Their offer is comparable to 8%. It's $43,701 with 25 cents. But I think counsel will elaborate further, better than me.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
For the record, Daniel Diaz Leyva, De Pitney, address 396, Alhambra Circle, 14th floor, Coral Gables, Florida, 33134. Good morning, commissioners and staff. Thank you for your time this morning. I'm Daniel Diaz Leyva, and I'm counsel for 701 Associates, LLC, in connection with this item. I was retained earlier this year by Mr. Mario Murgado, Mr. William Diaz-Rousselot, who joins me today, his general counsel, and his executive team to assist addressing these code enforcement violations as ownership finalizes the project at this site in hopes of continuing its long-standing record of economic impact and job creation in Little Havana, Miami generally, and our state through its network of automobile dealerships. The nature of the development of this site, the timing of permitting coinciding around the beginning of and through the duration of the pandemic, and the typical delays of the process and construction of a project of this size and scope caused a delay in our ability to resolve this issue any sooner. Now that the project is nearly complete and our ability to secure a certificate of occupancy is conditioned on resolving these issues, we look forward to bringing this issue to a mutually agreeable resolution today. We've been actively meeting with the director, as he said, Assistant City Attorney Rasco, to address the violations and ensure proper compliance procedurally to mitigate the fines assessed as a result of these violations. We want to thank Director Santos Alborna and Assistant Attorney Rasco for their professionalism and cooperation in navigating this delicate matter, which we have taken very seriously. It is in the spirit of this cooperation that we're here today, to bring this matter to a conclusion and respectfully request, as the Director said, approving a reduction originally of 5%, which has been increased to 8%, of the total fines owed. As you're aware, our client has been actively engaged in our community and a committed corporate citizen in Little Havana for decades, at Brickell Motors in particularly for 23 years. We respectfully request that the city consider our client's years of economic activity and job creation in the city when considering our proposal for mitigation, along with the material investment our client has made in the community to date and continues to do through the development of the parcels subject to these code enforcement violations. For this project alone, we've already delivered payment to the city in the amount of $2.1 million in impact fees. Once completed, the new automobile dealership contemplated on this site shall consist of a new Chrysler Dodge Jeep showroom and storage facility for its inventory, which shall further provide compelling economic activity and job creation for the city. Today, Brickell Motors employs 318 people in its facilities. Once this project is completed, we anticipate hiring another 90 employees for the new facility with an average salary of approximately $75,000. We hope you share in our enthusiasm and excitement in the growth of this particular area of Calle Ocho, where our client's business has been a long-standing member and committed to continuing to invest in and further develop its holdings in the surrounding area for the near future. Thank you for your consideration.
Mr. Co-Director.
Yes, sir.
First, let me acknowledge that you're looking into each case individually.
Yes, sir.
And you're trying to, and I see that today, be as fair as you can.
Yes, sir.
You found that, I guess, previous before you got here, for some reason, someone in code for 20 months or more didn't see that they had complied, and they kept the fines going on. I have my own opinions as to why that happened, but I'm sure that that is not happening with you now, nor will it happen into the future. I remember one of our dearly departed, the former Charlie Crespo, telling me in the early part of the first few months when I got elected for the first time